were joined again by us, and we probably not as happy as we thought we'd be after a disappointing World Cup from Bangladesh. I think our pre-tournament hopes were quite different to what actually happened. So we're here to break that down piece by piece, see what went wrong, how they could fix it, and what's in the future for Bangladesh.
Yeah.
So next player is Mahedi. That's an interesting one. So I surprisingly would put him a pass actually. Yeah, I did a
Yeah,
pass.
well, we couldn't see him too many times.
Yeah.
So I'd pass. I put a pass on him because he always bowls in the power plays, and I think in the Sri Lanka game he gave a really good start. So I
Yeah.
think I put a pass. I put a pass for my head.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm a pass for him as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we'll go to Mustafiz. For me, is a definite fail.
Oh,
I can't believe he performed so bad. Just fell off the
yeah.
complete radar.
I mean, you look at Mustafiz with all that IPL experience, which people thought that emulating IPL wickets or the Dubai wickets will reap you rewards. Then Mustafiz should have performed to the best of capacity. So I really don't go by that logic. So I think Mustafiz obviously is a big fail, and I think I don't know what's going on with him, but I think sometimes playing too much cricket also wears you down. I think Shakib suffered the same fate. He's been playing cricket throughout the year, and I think it's time that the boards come into action and say no. Like before a big tournament, you guys can't go anywhere, and this is where the ICC should also sort of intervene and make sure the IPL is not hampering international cricket calendar. And I think it only benefits one nation. It doesn't benefit any other nation. And it has changed the whole dynamics of the tour programs around the globe. And the whole cricket, you don't get half a decent coaches because of IPLs, because coaches think if I spend a season in the IPL, I'm sorted for 2 years. So it has changed the whole dynamics of cricket. So I think if you want this game to continue, and if you don't want this to be English Premier League as much in football, I think ICC needs to really intervene. So yeah, big fail for Mustafiz from my end.
Yeah, I think his bowling was really disappointing. Yeah, just too many times I just felt like he was bowling with no plan and just not being very smart with his bowling. Just like one of the games he was bowling, just kept bowling short and wide, and there's no deep point. That's just really basic cricket. If you don't have a deep point, why are you bowling slower balls, which are short and wide? You're just asking to get hit for 4 or 6. Like any half decent international players gonna hit that for a boundary. So, apart from Bangladesh players, but like any other team, they're gonna hit that for ball. So it was just absolute mindless bowling. Sometimes when I watch Fizz bowl, is honestly the most frustrating thing, because like he bowls these variations like when they're not needed. Like they might be swinging around and he just chucks them like off cutter that goes for 6. Or like he's bowled like 4 or 5 length balls, the batsman's like struggling, and then he bowls a bouncer at like 120 that any idiot, even in grade cricket, they can pull that for 6. It's not quick enough.
I saw him bowl in the high 130s and few 140s, and then obviously using the less of his cutters this World Cup. That's what I've seen with most of his, where I thought he could have used those cutters a little bit more. I don't know what sort of plan he was bowling to. Maybe
no plan. I think he was bowling to.
Clearly,
he was bowling to the. He was bowling to the plan to let the other team win quickly so they can go home.
So
every game is like none for 40 or something, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, and he was the 8th ranked bowler in T20 World T20.
Doesn't mean anything.
I mean, it just wears me out to think that any Bangladeshi players, when they're in top 10, that there's bad performances coming.
Yeah. But I think moving forward to one of the players who probably had a pretty decent World Cup, obviously Taskin. I think obviously is a big pass from me. He just bowled with great pace, and you can just see comparison to the other players that he's done so much work. I don't know if you guys use Instagram or not. I mean, obviously I know Naba does, but you know, I've been following him on Instagram, and I've just been seeing like some snippets of the work that he's been doing for like at least the last year. Like he's been working really hard in the gym. He's doing really a lot of work, like, you know, modeling his action, a lot of like fitness sort of work. And, you know, obviously what we see on social is only like a little snippets of what he's actually been doing. But he has been, I can tell that, like, you know, looking at what he's put up, that he's been working really hard leading up to the tournament, and it showed. Because he came out, he bowled quick, you know, he bowled, you know, over, we're talking about like around 90 miles. A lot of his deliveries were around 90 miles. And not only that, he actually bowled in good areas, you know, back of a length, hard to hit lengths, because he was bowling good areas, good spells to actual proper batsmen. To South Africa, he bowled pretty well. To Australia, you know, he also did bowl not too bad. Unfortunately, he got hit a couple of baddies, but predominantly the spell was, you know, he bowled a lot of like good wicket taking deliveries, which he wasn't as lucky as he could have been. But when your team is in a negative mind frame, usually things will go your way. But, you know, he gave it his all, and I think he actually bowled quite well. Yeah, I was very impressed by how he was bowling, and just a lot of energy in his bowling. Like he's running in, really hustling in, looking to try and create something out of nothing. So
No,
it's very impressive. Very
I echo the
impressive.
same sentiments with you, Naji. I think big pass for Taskin. But interestingly, you talk about the social media profiles of Taskin. You know, it really depends on who you follow. You follow Sabir Rahman, Imul Kais, and Ashraful. You'd see they're doing the same thing. So I think, but now, jokes apart, I think
I think it was mainly the amount of weight he was on versus
yeah.
you know,
No,
the
I
other
think
guys just skipping with their stupid rope or something.
yeah. No, I think Taskin, it shows, you know, he's put in a lot of work, Taskin. So he's
Yeah, I
put
mean,
in
it's not that, like, you know, obviously I saw him put the work in. You can see that he's in better shape as well. As like, I should have mentioned that as well. It's not just like, obviously I saw the stuff on social media where he was working hard, but you can see a visual difference that he looked in better bowling shape than he was
absolutely
a year or two ago.
And
He
you
looked a
know,
lot fitter, a lot stronger, ready to
bowling
go.
90 miles per hour, you know, we finally found a bowler who can bowl 90 miles per hour. And I just hope, you know, fingers crossed that, you know, we can use this talent and we can use him in the longer formats, maybe give him a break from whatever format he needs. Maybe, you know, if you think to prolong his career, and, you know, as you know, a fast bowler, they don't have long careers. You know, if you think to prolong his career, he needs a break from T20s, give him a break from T20s, use him in ODI cricket, use him in test matches. But we just have to manage his workload, and I think that's absolutely necessary, because we don't have 590 miles per hour bowlers, so we just need to make sure we use him correctly.
Treasure chest, and basically, you have one. And by next World Cup, probably bowling like 135. Maybe his back's probably gonna break from carrying the bowling lineup. So. Yes.
He's carrying Mustafi, he's carrying everyone.
Yeah, that's it. This is like carrying two bowlers with the amount of runs he's giving away. So
I just really hope that Fizz made a debut in a big tournament. Like if he made his debut in a big tournament where he would be a mystery, you know, that could have been, you know, Bangladesh's time to actually utilize his skills to win a World Cup or something. But, you know, just, you know,
everyone's seen him now.
Everyone knows him, and those IPL seasons obviously have even further, you know, helped people
exposure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now the slow balls
and he
not
forgot giving his
threatening.
Yorkers, which he was so good at the beginning of his cricketing journey. So well, high time he really refocuses on his game, because you know, this level of cricket is very hard, and it's daunting.
Yeah.
Well, Taskin for me was a huge pass. I mean, he put his heart and soul into the games.
I see Taskin in you, Naba. I see Taskin in you.
I like to think that I put all my effort into my bowling, but yeah, I think even when you're talking about his strength, even Michael Atherton, as soon as Taskin came on, he was like talking about how he looks like so different, like strong, like
He was like, look at that bicep,
Yeah.
you know, you can see the veins popping. You know, it's kind of like mine at
Oh,
the moment, but but yeah, you know, he's
I'll
worth
hide
it.
mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he was putting his heart and soul, and then obviously the team's mindset was shown when that Sumia catch was just completely baffling his side, and all that even was. He didn't even get a hand on it at the end. Made it look
We saw his reaction. Yeah.
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 But Taskin was visually angry, and so he should be.
He should
Because
be,
he's
yeah.
putting his heart and soul into the game,
Yeah.
and everyone else is just like, whatever, this tournament's done, this game's done.
Mm.
I remember Shane Warne said this plenty of times, like the games that I mean, just Lang actually said this, the hardest run is the winning run. Like the
Yep.
hardest run to get is the winning run. And until that point, you put full effort in. Shane Warne believes the game can never be lost.
And that's why he was part of the great Australian side, and they won game scoring 120 on board in 50 overs, and they won games from there. So
You see the different mindset in that sort of team, which is a champion team. You need to look at those players because they've won how many tournaments?
Three-time world champions, I think, and
in a row.
And also they did not feel the need of a coach at that point. That's how good they were, that Australian side.
Exactly.
So
they're a group of champions.
Mm-hmm.
And Bangladesh should look to those sort of players. Like they don't need to hire them, but they should look at their mentality. You can just hear by the way they talk.
Yeah, I think it's even. I mean, money is not a problem in Bangladesh cricket, as I see.
Yeah.
So if you can bring in those personalities in your dressing room, it can help you win, big tournaments. And then all these things will start to fall into places. You win one big tournament, you'd see the face of cricket will change in Bangladesh. And I think it's just that one. You just get off the mark and you'll see people's thought process, even the spectators will start to mature. People will start have meaningful discussions and etc. I'm not saying that every person will do it. Even in India, you have people commenting on those Cricket Info reels and all those feeds. They say anything, but I think there are people in India who discusses the right things, and you have all these panels of commentators who are all cricket analysts in India, and it's because they have a structure which they have built for years. So I think you start to see that as well in Bangladesh cricket.
Yeah, I mean, Pakistan even took on Matthew Hayden. Obviously helped them a lot.
Our cricket operations, who's actually in charge of all these things, making sure you get the right coaching panels and making sure, they facilitate the selection of the players according with, all the rules and regulations in a big tournament. I think they have to own up to these things. Like if they're complaining that you can't find good coaches in the era of IPL, but how did Pakistan get Matthew Hayden? Or what could you not offer to Matthew Hayden, or what you couldn't scout? Okay, fine, you don't have to get Matthew Hayden. Why don't you get someone like, let's say, I'm just saying, Ricky Ponting, maybe if he's not, pay him.
Funny, I was thinking of Ricky Ponting.
I mean, pay him the dollars. Pay him the dollars to come to Bangladesh and reshape Bangladesh cricket. Or you don't have to employ him for the national team. Put him in the high performance team, or put him in the game development area where he could actually work with the root structure of Bangladesh cricket. And that's what's more important. Where did India hire Dave Watmore? In the root levels of their cricket, not in the national team, because that's what matters the most. So you start doing these changes now, and maybe you, me, and Naji will see Bangladesh lift a World Cup, maybe before we perish.
It's the calm before the storm. Things aren't